Hello, I'm Chandan and I'm back with another video. So today I'll be talking about PhD and a few misconceptions that are there around PhD in India especially. Because PhD is a degree, so the general idea among many people and even within me when I was about to join a higher study or a master's degree, or I was out of the bachelor's degree. So it's generally not very common to know what a PhD degree is all about. And the general idea is because it's a degree, so you need to read a lot or do many courses and do courses through 5 or 6 years and things like that. But that is not the case. I would say that a PhD is around 30 to 40% of studying or learning from some text, whether it is books or the internet or journal publications, etc., or in classes. That is only 30 to 40%, and that also is a maxed out estimate. I'm saying it can be lesser than that as well, depending on what type of research question you are uh, picking up. But that will be maximum to 30 to 40%, and the rest is actually work or the research work that you do. So that means that only 30 to 40% of your time is devoted on reading and learning, learning from text, I mean, and the maximum part is about doing or doing some research work, doing hands-on, doing some particular experiments or doing simulations, building models, or in terms of maybe in case of management or social sciences PhDs, they may have to do certain surveys, etc. Even in many cases you may have to do certain field experiments or field surveys, etc. So that is hands-on and you get to learn a lot from the work you do. And that is why PhD can also be and is many times listed both as your educational qualification as well as your work experience. So you get, it's kind of a hands-on work experience that you get. So you get to do the work instead of just reading. Coming to the structure of PhD, so as I have told in my previous videos, that I have done my PhD from the Indian Institute of Science. So here the general idea or the general structure of a PhD is this. So the first generally a year is spent on coursework. So what do you mean by coursework? You take up some subjects, some advanced courses that is offered either within your department or in other departments that you haven't done and may be relevant to the work that you are planning to do as part of your PhD program. So in the first year, that is the first 2 semesters, you take up these two courses. So for example, I had taken 3 courses in my PhD. Two of them were, so my PhD was from Civil Engineering Department in the specialization of water resources and environmental engineering. But out of the 3 courses that I have done in my PhD, 2 were from the Management Studies Department. Because those were the 2, because I was expecting that a lot of work that I will do during my PhD would need a lot of statistics, probability, time series analysis, etc. So I did 2 courses. One was applied statistics and second was time series analysis from the Management Studies Department at the Indian Institute of Science. And the third was a course it was an advanced course that was offered within my department. And that was all that I did, all the courses that I did during my PhD. Then the next year is mainly, so the second year of PhD is mainly focused on identifying your research problem or the research and identifying the research objectives that you want to pursue during your PhD, and formally doing a literature survey. Literature survey in brief means that you read various previous research work through various research publications that is quite easily accessible through IISc because IISc has subscription to these research publication journals. So you can read about them and slowly form ideas about what can you do. So what is the ongoing research happening? What is there a research gap there that you can identify, and then what type of, how would you address that gap? So that is the idea. And at the end of 2 years, you sit for an exam which is known as the comprehensive exam, where you say that the exam is about coursework as well as your research problem. So in the last 2 years, you would have read some amount of literature, as well as you have started doing some initial experiments or initial work of your research. So in this comprehensive exam, you present that the background of your research, that is the literature survey, and then you present the some amount of little bit of work that you have done. And then you are also asked questions based on coursework. The interesting part is that the coursework that you for which you appear for the exam, you can set the syllabus. So you can actually write down the syllabus, obviously in consultation with your research supervisor, and then with both of the research supervisor and the student being comfortable with the coursework, you can put 2 or 3 courses and you can prepare those and you can appear for them. And this kind of qualifies you to embark on the journey of research for the next 3 to 4 years, as may be required for your research to complete. And the rest 3 years typically, so PhD in India is kind of 5 years program. So the rest 3 years are dedicated completely on research. So the reading that only goes on is your research publications, and that is not much. The larger part is part of your time is devoted towards research, the work that you do. And then once you find some interesting results or outputs of the work, of the research work that you have conducted, you write journal articles and try to get it published in respected international journals. And towards the end, so once you have completed good amount of work, which is around, so for example in my stream, that is water resources or hydrology, it is seen that if you have work enough to be published as 3 to 4 journal publication, you are close to completing your PhD. And then is when you start writing your thesis, which is a very large document that you write, that contains all the details of the background of the work, the type of work you did, the experimental setup, the data and methods that you used, the results that you got, the discussion regarding the results and the conclusions of all the work that you have done, that you write in a thesis format, which is a large document. And then you appear for your colloquium. This varies from department to department. In some departments, the culture is to first give a colloquium, and where you present your work first in front of the whole institute. Is majorly your department and the related department faculty and students would attend that colloquium, and then you write your thesis. In some departments, it's the other way around. So in my department, the general trend is that you first write your thesis and then appear for your colloquium. And once you're in the colloquium, you do well, and there are not much changes or objections or suggestions that are made by other faculty members, you kind of are ready to submit your public thesis for review. Now this goes for review to 2 reviewers, one Indian reviewer and one international reviewer from in IISc. That is the standard norm, and it gets reviewed within. So now everything is online. So you get your work reviewed within 2 to say maximum 4 months. So the review comes back with the comments. Based on the comments, you may have to revise your thesis a little bit. That is the general trend, that you need to revise a little bit, provide some more explanation, maybe do a small 1 or 2 experiments in addition to whatever you have done, to explain the concerns that the reviewers may have. and maybe answer some questions that they have. And then once that is done, then your thesis is ready for thesis defense. So you defend your thesis where you answer all questions by the examiner, and again, if anybody has in your department or any other departments from the institute. And once this formality is done, you are officially completed your PhD degree. So that is all about it. I hope that I have given a good overview of what a PhD degree looks like in India and especially in IISc. If you have any questions or comments regarding my video, I am happy to address those and answer in my future videos. And thanks again for watching my video. Thank you. Bye bye.